we should all be ordering up parts from the rev limiter to fix our bikes and be getting deep diving into getting everything ready to get ready for the next race. Unfortunately, that's kind of not the case of what's really taking place. Obviously, the rev limiter that was scheduled for March the 27th through the 29th was obviously postponed. We say postponed because we have a new date. Obviously, September the 27th and 28th. I believe we'll start on the 26th. Yes, I did hit record, so thank you for that reminder, sweetheart. Hey, Nick, Torben, Clayton, everybody that's joining. Awesome to have everybody joining. So we did reschedule the rev limiter, so that's super awesome. So we kind of wanted to go through and, to start the night off just thanking all of our sponsors. Obviously, tonight, repping the FXR gear. FXR came on, super awesome company. Start with our title sponsor, Kenda. We got SRT, Sherco, AOMC, Cross Swords Racing, RNS Works, Ready to Ride Rentals, Rev Design, Seat Time, Evans Coolant, Enduro Method, 2Ride, Built to Ride, Sherco of North Texas, Reflex Racing, Red Bull, MK Visuals, Shock Socks, Enduro Works, Long Henry Industries, Mountain High Pipes, Geographic Drone, XC Gear, FXR, Brady Metter up in Oklahoma, killing it with the TBT suspension, MJ Photos, and so really super exciting to kind of have all of those individuals on board with us, and that really makes it special for us because we know, it's really easy to kind of get down in times like this when we worked so hard to put this race on and then everything got postponed. But without those sponsors, we wouldn't be where we're at. We wouldn't, and our team wouldn't be ready and excited about what's coming up, what we're getting ready for in September, because everything's still on the plate. So super excited about all of that. And we can't thank the AMA enough because the AMA, Eric Kudla, all of those guys over there, they put in the work to make sure that we had a discipline, that we had a discipline that we could actually have our own discipline, and that is extreme off-road. So the AMA, obviously, we have an East and a West. So WEC for the West Coast, EEC for the East Coast. So that's super exciting. This is the first year, and man, what a year. We get in the first round, and before we get into the second round, everything kind of gets postponed. Talking about postponements and things like that, obviously, last week we heard, from Matt, which is Enduro Fest, the IRC Enduro Fest. They actually had to postpone their race. They don't have a new date yet. They're working on that, I assume. And so currently that's kind of what's going on. The Rev Limiter and Enduro Fest have been canceled. Or not canceled, excuse me, postponed. So with that, we still have Mad Moose, which is on the EEC. That's coming up May the 16th. Currently, that is still on the schedule and slated to race. So fingers crossed that everything goes great and everybody gets to go up to Michigan for May 16th. With that, we know that the West Coast, obviously LDS, Last Dog Standing, they made a post that currently they're still planning on their race being June the 6th. So June the 6th for the WEC at Last Dog Standing, Glen Helen. We've been out there. We've raced that race. June is always a nice time in Glen Helen. It's nice and crispy. So get ready for that one. And then after that, obviously Sticks and Stones, which is June the 20th. So that one is still slated, and we don't have any changes. Last week, big news last week, obviously Tough Like Roar. Last Wednesday, they opened up their registration. So if you haven't registered for Tough Like Roar up in Pennsylvania, that is July the 4th weekend. July the 4th weekend, they always have a great event up there. I have not made it up there yet, but everybody that's gone up there has just raved about it and said it's awesome. So we're definitely looking, if things work out, then, we might be in Pennsylvania in July. And then obviously after some of that stuff goes on, then Tough Like Roar, then we got Fallen Timbers, which is July the 18th. So we did race that one last year, and it was an awesome event. They do a good job putting on the trails and everything, and it was really fun. So we would like to get back up there this year for that as well. And then you got Battle of the Goats, August the 1st. Battle of the Goats, which is another epic one. So the remainder of the schedule for the WEC and the EEC is really great events. And so I think what we've done with both series and then having the rev limiter as a shootout gives us the great autonomy to really see who's the best, East versus West, plus, who's going to come out on top, whether it's going to be Quinn Wenzel, Cody Webb, Nick Fahringer, Max Gersten, Colton Haker, Manny. I mean, there's so many. The list is just going – it gets so deep. It's kind of like, when we talk about Supercross, and I know most everybody on here watches Supercross, and this year it's just a stacked field for that. In the past years, obviously, you've always had Taddy and Johnny and those guys from overseas, but it was kind of just Cody was kind of the top dog, it seemed like, over here. And we had a few guys, in the past that's always been really good, Max and all of those guys. But this year, it seems like it is a really stacked field for the extreme guys. I mean, with Tristan, it's just Max and even Ron Como. We saw him at the King of the Motos, and he really surprised me. So it's really getting to be to where everybody is really putting in the effort and the work. So this extreme hard enduro, whatever you want to call it, is just really awesome, and it's really growing, and it's great to see the input and all the guys putting in the work for us over here in the U.S. to actually have a thick list of guys that can throw it down at any given time. And it's not always going to say, oh well, we know Cody's going to win, or oh, we know Manny's going to win. It really kind of plays in. And with all the races that are on the schedule, it really changes up the topography, the riding terrain, and things like that. So when you go from King of the Motos to LDS to Rev Limiter to Sticks and Stones, I mean, they're all different. And so you kind of have to be well versed. And so this is a great opportunity. It's a great time for racing in the U.S. Unfortunately, we're just taking a little break. So it gives everybody time to get their crap together, get their bikes ready. If they weren't already training, they need to start training. And, if you need some stuff to do and you just want to, airports are kind of empty right now. So jump on a plane, head over to Phoenix, and go do some Ready to Ride rental stuff. Here in a little bit, we're going to have on Zoom for Facebook Live and Instagram Live, you'll be able to hear them. We're going to have Mary from MJ Photos. She does all the hard enduro stuff. She goes over to ISDE. She did Getson Rodeo last year, several other stuff. So she's just awesome. She does great stuff for us. And then we got Bo on tonight from Ready to Ride Rentals. He's at all the hard enduro stuff, and he rents out the bikes, so that's really awesome. And so we're always excited to have him. And we know on Zoom we just got Cody Webb that joined us, so maybe we got Yeah, and I know Cody, he actually did a weekend with Webb with Bo and Mary, so super awesome to have him on as well. So, talking about, what happens from here on out, obviously we still have TKO that's on schedule. The big news this week coming out was actually that, Erzberg got postponed. They said canceled, but hey, Rob, they said Have you guys started putting together contingency plans for schedules if stuff? Hey, yes, Rob, we do. If it gets pushed off, everybody's just going to come out to your house, and we're just going to throw down a massive hard enduro in your backyard through your house and all of that kind of good stuff. But that was huge. When you see Erzberg, for us promoters, or for me anyway, I always look at Erzberg and Romaniacs and things like that, and how do I not necessarily emulate, but how do I learn from what they're doing that's working and not working to make my event still unique? Can you do my hair like yours? Nick, I don't know if you have enough hair, but I will give it a try. So one of the things is, we always look at some of those other events and how they stack up. And, those have been iconic races for hard enduro, and that's what everybody looks at. And worldwide, everybody really knows those. So for us to hear this week that Erzberg had been canceled and they don't know a date, man, that was huge. That was a big hit. We know, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, we heard ISDE got canceled. ISDE, I know we're hard enduro guys, but ISDE is like the Olympics for off-road dirt bikes. And I know most of us on here, we're always following the ISDE, see what's going on. Kula and the AMA team puts in tons of hours with that, as well as all the support staff. I know Mary's always over there. All the teams. I mean, this isn't just hey, we're going to get ready and we're going to go do a race down the street. I mean, it's a lot of effort. And so for that to be canceled, and then Erzberg, things are kind of really getting, it's not just our local races that are getting canceled. So it's pretty tough. Some of the people, Cody, he said, hey, it couldn't have happened at a better time. He tore his MCL. So he's use this time to rehab. But some of the things, before we kind of dive in, we wanted to have Mary on. She always does a great job. She knows what's going on in the industry and everything. And we always kind of want to make sure that we're including everybody and getting other people's feedbacks. This isn't just a live about me and what I have to say this week. We really want to tie in our sponsors, riders, racers, and anybody that wants to have some input. We want them to come on so they can share their insight. And so that's always huge for us to really make this. And that's what we do with our event. We don't make this about us and what we want. We try to listen to everybody, and we really want to put on the best event possible. It might be sometimes that there's certain things that me personally, I wouldn't like or wouldn't necessarily think is the best way to do things. And that's why we have a team. Rick Nolan, Rick Lambert, Nick Uradalis, Ronnie Uradalis, all of those guys that come out and help every weekend. All of those guys, Curtis from Torn, Tom from Z Performance, all those guys that they have input. And so I try to make sure that it's everybody's input. It's not just mine, because we want to make sure that we're listening to the racers, the spectators, the sponsors, and really trying to hone in to give everybody the best event possible. So before we dive into Mary and Bo, one of the things that I want to say, I don't know how many healthcare workers and first responders we have on tonight, but congrats. Thanks for everything that y'all do. You are the front line for us right now with the COVID-19, and it's tough. There's a lot of y'all that are going to work 10, 12 hours a day, not knowing whether you're going to be infected. And we appreciate everything that you do. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Yes, we want to go racing, but we know that we need to take care of business and get this taken care of so that we can move on. Yes, absolutely. You can help anytime, Dallas. We got a pair of loppers with your name on them. We're going to jump in, and Mary, thanks for joining us tonight.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Perfect. We're going to unmute you, and we're going to unmute Bo. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Mary, and why you're even here.
That's the age-old question. I ask myself that all the time. Uh, the love, right? Why are we all here?
Guys, can y'all hear her?
Can everybody hear me okay?
I think so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hello, Mary.
Never been a problem before. I know. I was waiting for that. Somebody mute Cody for that little slide comment in there. I'm the one that you can hear. If you are a racer, I'm the one you've heard cheering you on, most likely. So that's where that little side note comes in. For everybody that doesn't know me, Mary, MJ, MJ's Moto Photos. My other handle is American Enduro Photographer, which is mainly for enduro, which has been spending the last couple years doing. I'm 100% freelance. I'm a freelance photojournalist, so I tell the stories with my lens, and I guess all my I'm usually in this guy right here, Dirt Bike Magazine. Shout out to them. If you don't get an old school magazine, we can't really be friends. So it's kind of like my life. Definitely Dirt Bike News, Enduro 21, all the channels. Been in them all, love all the crew and everything. And yeah, I've been doing this, I don't know, 5-6 years full time.
Awesome. Well, we know that and we always appreciate all of that kind of good stuff because, you're out there and you're kind of running around. Most everybody that ends up racing, they end up seeing you everywhere. So you're never at one spot very long. So
yeah, that is the goal. I definitely do my best to check out the track from a rider point of view and get out to as many places as I can to really showcase the different styles that the riders are doing. My goal's always been to kind of go a little bit further than everybody else. So.
Yeah, and James Hill, he said you're always taking great pictures of somebody eating it and posting them for everybody to guess if they land on their feet. So I'm assuming that was probably from Rev Limiter, James Hill, one of our local guys. So yeah, so
it could be, yeah.
Mary,
a lot of attention. As long as the rider isn't hurt, then I'm usually game to post them. So yeah, those are good.
So Mary, with you, I mean, you do tons of different. You go to all the cool events, obviously. That's why you come.
Only the cool ones,
right? Only the cool ones. That's why she's at the Rev Limiter, guys. But no, for real. Getson, that kind of seemed like that was pretty sick. So if you have not seen Getson Rodeo, go to Red Bull TV, check it out.
Definitely.
It's kind of, when we did the Red Bull Override 6-hour extreme race, Manny came over and he said that was a proper amateur hard enduro. And then if you go and check out Getson, that's some serious stuff. All right. So obviously we have to make sure that our races, we can handle amateurs and get everybody safely, but go check it out. It's sick. I know Mary, she had some photos and tons of stuff over there, some write-ups in Dirt Bike Magazine. And so go check out her work. Obviously she shows up at all the events. She does great stuff and we always appreciate her. Now, Mary, we got Bo on also, which is Ready to Ride Rentals. And he's one of our Rev Limiter sponsors. And so we appreciate him, what he does. We'll let him kind of clue you into what he does. But, you will see him at almost every hard enduro race. So just go up and chat with him, visit it with him. If you need to try out a bike and you haven't ridden a Sherco, go rent one from him and you can just send it. Because you're not going to do anything to that rented bike that he hasn't already done to his bike. So, Bo, tell us a little bit about yourself and welcome to the show tonight, man.
Heck yeah, I appreciate the invite. Thank you, Mark.
Yes.
So RTR Rentals, they have a whole fleet of bikes, all 2020 models, Sherco, KTM, and Husqvarna. And I bring them to all the all the hard enduro races that AMA puts on at least the West Coast this year. So you guys don't have to drive there. You can fly in and have a fully prepped race bike loaded with all the goodies from, from all the best parts, Ride Shop KYB suspension, Flow Motorsports, bulletproof designs, all that good stuff. The bike's ready to ride, ready to finish the race. So you can't hurt them as bad as I can.
Man, I tell you what. So, I mean, you get an opportunity to fly in and just show up and somebody else prepped your bike. I mean, that's pro in a package. Some of the things now, a couple of questions for you, Bo. I think it's the Satterfields.
What was that?
The Satterfields, they come over, they rent
Oh,
bikes,
those
TKO.
the Flying Hawaiian?
Yeah, the Flying Hawaiian. So, a lot of times people think,
Dude.
man, am I going to get a bike that's gonna actually finish a race? Well, I can tell you, they put them to the test at TKO, and how did they end up like?
They were top 20. The two brothers were. That was the dry conditions. It was faster.
True.
It was faster than they were expecting. Not as slick, and they were still top 20.
Yeah. So, so when you think about you're going to, hey, listen, I want to go to Sticks and Stones. I need it. Well, he's all sold out for Sticks and Stones. But, for instance, if you wanted to go to an event and he was going to be there, you can fly in, rent the bike. And if you worry about whether that's going to last, the Satterfields came in to TKO, rented bikes from Bo. They finished in the top 20. And that was not even their norm of the wet, slick TKO traditional conditions. So, they could have done even better probably if it was a little wetter. So super kudos to you then, Bo. That's awesome. A couple of questions. I mean, I know James Hill, he wanted to know the cost and stuff like that. I know everything's kind of like a package deal, but most people kind of have a certain type of tire, something they want. Are they able to request certain type of equipment, bring their own bars, things like that?
Absolutely. So the bike can come fully set up, ready to race as soon as you get there with all the parts that I use, such as like IRC gummy tires. But if you have specific setups that you want to use or sponsors, that you have to use certain parts, I can either put those on for you before you buy them and have them set up on before you even get there, or you can bring your own parts. Bring your own suspension, handlebars, whatever you want. And I have all the tools and everything to set up the bikes. So basically, the bikes are there at least 1 to 2 days before the racing even starts. So when you rent a bike, it includes at least 1 full day before the race, if not 2 days. So you have a couple days to set up the bike exactly how you want it set up, test things, change things, however you want. Whether I do it or you do it, it'll be set up ready for your race.
Nice. Yeah, and I will say, Bo actually was racing TKO, and versus him going through whatever his pre-race ritual was. I didn't see him over there eating pizza or anything, but whatever his pre-race ritual is.
I had barbecue.
Okay, barbecue, but he wasn't over there worried about what he was going to be doing. He was over there making sure those bikes were set up. I mean, they were coming in and I said, hey, can we do this? Can we do that? And he was just, Johnny on the spot, just knocking it out for him. So kudos to you, man. That was awesome. And so I haven't had that opportunity. I was supposed to come up to Sticks and Stone last year, had a bike rented, and I didn't make it. So, I'm going to have to do that now, especially since you got Sherco on board. So I'll definitely be able to come now. One of the things with that is what do you – I know you posted this week that you just got a new 2020. And apparently, I guess everybody is out playing on your bike, seeing your bike before you. What's that all about? And what'd you get?
I haven't even seen the bike yet. I think Mary has that at her house. Eric, her fiance, is been a long time Kawasaki rider, and he's been wanting to try a freshie bike, set up completely stock, so he knows exactly what it's going to be like when he buys it new. So he picked it up from California for me, and he's got it for I think about a week, and he's just setting up for him how he wants to ride it, see if it's the bike that he wants to buy. So I mean that's exactly what we do. We don't We don't get the cheapest bikes, the ones that make the most financial sense. We get the bikes that everybody wants to ride, and that's the Shercos, that's the KTM's, the new 300 TPIs, the 2020 factory Shercos, and that's we're buying more and more. I keep selling off of the old bikes, keep replacing them with those Shercos and the KTM 300s that everybody wants to try. So we keep the fleet rotated, fresh usually between 8 to 12 months on average is when we sell off the old bikes and get all brand new bikes. So to keep up with the newest models out there, so everybody can have the best there is. Whether you're doing a daily rental as a beginner rider, or you're going to race, or you're going to do one of our vacation packages in Moab or Portland, Oregon, you'll always have the best equipment.
Yeah. So a couple of questions, and that leads into we had Will that asked about insurance and damage. I know, and like I said, I don't want to speak for you, but I think, minor scuffs and things like that happens. But insurance and things like that for dented pipe, crushed pipe, how does that work?
So there's like a $400 damage deposit required with the bikes. Which to pay for broken items. There is no damage insurance. You have to pay for the bike if you damage it. Now, these are race bikes, full bikes. They get beat up. You don't have to worry about scratching or dinging them. Minor dings, minor scratching the bikes. You don't got to worry about that. You're going to get the bike with some scratch plastics, but that means you don't have to worry about, cartwheeling it down the mountain and get some more scratches. It was already scratched and you got it.
Right.
If you dent pipes, you're not paying for a brand new pipe. James Flynn on Sherco, he's my pipe repair guy. I think he charges me like $50 or $60 or something to blow out a pipe. That's the same thing I charge you. It's just if you break something, like if you break a fender, break a handlebar. But I get approximately like 50% off of all my aftermarket parts. So if you break a fender or a handlebar, I share that same 50% discount on the part to throw it on. No labor or anything, just the cost of the part to throw it on, and that's it.
That's great. Well, hopefully you heard that. So, there, if there's just a few dings or things like that, scratches, you're not worried about that, but he's going to pass on whatever savings. So he's getting some deep discounts for some parts and things like that. So say you just break off a rear disc rotor guard, if he's getting it for 50% off, he's going to pass on that same deal to you. So you're not paying full price for some of these parts. So that's awesome. So that's huge. And so kudos to you, Bo. With that, you mentioned that was one of the other things. Y'all just did the weekend with Webb. That was awesome. Hated to miss that, but we had just finished up the 6-hour Red Bull override, so I couldn't really make it to that. But there's some other things. You're doing some vacation rentals and things like that. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so this year we had a bunch of trips planned for basically we have a bunch of pre-planned vacations where we go to Moab, Portland, Colorado, Phoenix, and you can come along where it's everything's taken care of, everything's all inclusive. Like if we're in Crested Butte, Colorado, all you do is show up there. You'll have a bike, you'll have a house, you'll have beer, food, everything taken care of in that package. And we do that with Ryan Wells, owner of AZ Dirt Bike Training. We partner up and do that together. So basically anything that I take you on, Ryan's going to make sure you can get through it safely. And we all get out back home to the jacuzzi to drink beer afterwards. So it's basically a whole vacation put together. So you don't have to do anything. You don't have to worry about any logistics. You don't have to worry about the bikes, the house, the food, nothing. You just show up and you just go on vacation mode and go ride the best train, the best that the U.S. has to offer, and we take care of it all.
So awesome terrain,
and then
bikes, jacuzzis, cold beer, and an awesome good time. I mean, you can't beat that. You got to check out Ready to Ride Rentals. Check out all their vacation packages. So, how is, because I still know that y'all are out there riding, because I checked process from Texas to Phoenix, and I'm thinking, well, I can get through the airports really quick right now. I can probably get there for about $30. So I know y'all are kind of still riding out there. So how's all of this affecting you and your group? Because I think y'all still have some riding and stuff going on, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, what you just find, like a lot of the customers, it turns out a lot of the customers they're usually planning on flying out here because of work trips, and then they do vacations while they're out there. So if work canceled, those people canceled, but otherwise, like everyone's still out riding. I mean, it's like when you're not working, what else are you gonna do? You know, you're outdoors, you're safe, you're away from other people. It's time for dirt bike vacations, man. And looking under the essential businesses, it looks like, you know, outdoor recreations, bikings are all allowed to still be open, at least in Arizona. I don't know about you guys, but out here we're still doing it.
Well, David, it's Cody Webb. Weekend with Webb was with Cody Webb. He was just asking whether it was Tom Webb, Wolfman, but is actually Cody. Well, you know, we're still, you know, some of our parks are closed. Some of our riding places are closed. Some of them are still open. So, you know, we're making sure that when we go ride, we practice social distancing. We make sure that, you know, we're trying to be safe, do all those types of things. And obviously, when we're out there, we're thinking a little bit more about it because we don't want to end up injuring ourselves and ending up in the hospital. So we're trying to ride responsibly, just like y'all are out there. So it's super awesome to still see everybody out getting some exercise, doing some riding and things like that. Because what I'm hearing is, man, once this all took off, and a lot of people that's been too busy, now all of a sudden they're like, man, I get to go ride. How awesome is this? You know, and so it worked out great for a lot of people until some of the parks and things like that started closing down. Some of ours in Texas have closed down, so we're still riding maybe once every other week or once a week here and there with a few little local places that we have. So keep up the good work. I mean, it's awesome. Y'all got some great stuff going on. We're headed out to Phoenix soon to come around with you guys. I've never been to Moab, but you know, I heard it was pretty awesome.
It's awesome.
To go.
Moab's worth the trip. That is freaking gorgeous out there.
Yeah. Like I said, we're planning on it soon. So, you know, what else you got for us today, Bo? Who do you want to thank, or what do you want to wrap up with?
Dude, so I've said something like this before in a post, but I really mean it, that no business can be successful by one person. It takes a community to make this sport what it is. I mean, everyone that puts on AMA racing, everyone that puts on the bike dealerships, the parts, you know, I mean, everyone makes it possible. Hard Enduro Outfitters Circle's been helping me out a lot, get some sweet old race bikes. AEO Power Sports. I mean, everyone that puts into this sport, everyone benefits from it. Mark specifically, man, you do so much for all of us. Really appreciate you. Of course, Mary, IRC Tires. You guys are all awesome. I've never had to do that before. I have to think of who to thank. I'm like, holy shit, don't put me on the spot like that.
Yeah, that's why we have a list now, because we have so many people that we want to thank, because it's, you know, and to that point, Bo, I mean, it's really awesome. It's a community. It's truly a community. And no, I don't think anywhere else you go and you have that tight knit of a community, because literally we could probably, just like you or myself, we could probably go to any state in the U.S. and we know somebody from there, from our racing, from the dirt bike world or something. And it's pretty awesome to have a great community like that supports everybody. And that's kind of like this, you know, we have some races that are postponed. Obviously, it wasn't anything that we wanted to do, but the support that we've gotten from everybody knows that we're going to do everything in our power to make sure that y'all have a great event. And with that, that's that support, because everybody knows, hey, we're all going through this together, and you know, it's not easy. So if you haven't checked out Ready to Ride Rentals, go check out Bo. Check out when's your next big vacation?
Portland, Oregon in June. I don't remember the dates off the top of my head, but it was the weekend right after Sticks and Stones. So we drive up to Idaho, bring the fleet up there to race at the Silver Mountain, and then the next weekend we go over to Portland, Oregon. We've got a big house right out west of Portland, right there between the beach and Portland. So we go riding to the west, right by the beach, and then go to downtown Portland. We've got all the amazing, all the food trucks, the burlesque shows, all the bars, everything. It's going to be a party.
Sounds like it. If you ever want to party with Bo, Bo's the man. Like I said, go check out Ready to Ride Rentals. They do a great job. They got way cool stuff. He's always taking care of all of his people. He wants to make sure everybody has a great time. And he puts in the effort. He puts in, for his trips, he has scouted everything out. Him and Ryan, he takes Ryan, or Ryan shows up, whatever it is. But Ron Wells is there, and they put together usually a pretty awesome course, something that and Ron does classes and things like that. So he's always helping to make sure that everybody gets through the trail. It's not like just because Bo goes to hard enduro stuff, they're just going to take you to some Romaniac stuff and just drop you off with 4 days out in the middle of the wilderness and say, good luck. They take care of you. They want to make sure that you get back to the jacuzzi and get back to the beer. That's where it all takes place. So you can have those bench racing events and talk trash on everybody about who ate crap that day. So super cool. Bo, man, we appreciate it. Anything you got to say to close things out?
I can't wait to see you at Rev Limiter.
We got some stuff for you. You're probably going to want to have a few extra pipes ready to go. We got some stuff just for you, Bo.
I've got like 8 pipes.
He'll be ready for sure. All right. Well, Bo, man, we appreciate it. We're going to put you on mute. We're going to answer a few things in the Facebook Live, so stay with us. Chime in. We got the chat that's going on as well. So whether it's chat in the Zoom, chat on Facebook, chat on Instagram, ask your questions. Eric Kula, one last question, I guess. Bo, for your pre-race ritual, at TKO you had barbecue. Kula said pineapple or pizza?
I had both, actually, to be honest. I get nervous before the races, so I eat a lot of food.
All right, that's awesome, Bo. We appreciate it, man. Thanks for everything you're doing. Thanks for keeping everything cool. Like I said, we're going to be catching up with some of the Ready to Ride rental events. Super awesome. Timing hasn't worked out. Either it's right after the Red Bull race this past year, different things like that. So we'll get on it. Oh, pineapple on pizza. Okay. Kula.
Oh, my God.
So, Kula, glad you're on tonight. Super excited. Like I said, I don't know if you caught it earlier. We're super excited for the AMA support for this year, for this series. Obviously, this 2020 series has not gone the way we really wanted it to. But you know what? We're all dealing with the same thing. So we're all trying to, look forward and pick up those new dates. Obviously, inside joke. Got you. Yeah, maybe I was already in bed that night, Eric. So what we got going on, obviously the Rev Limiter is rescheduled September 25th, 26th, 27th. Everything still seems to be in play. We've already worked it out, made sure that Texas 4 Fest, the Jeep guys, Tom with Z Performance, they're on board again, continued. We made sure that Torn was all set, so they're set for the same weekend. The city has some stuff going on. We're working out our prologue and our weekend event. We might have to adjust our weekend schedule. So we might have to move our prologue up a little bit. In March, we had it set because they had some other things in the city, and we had it to where our prologue wasn't going to start until 4. Now they have some other things going on later in the evening, So we'll be meeting with them in the next month or so. And so maybe our prologue moves up a little bit earlier in the day. Not a problem. We're still working all those details out. Obviously, Nick, bring your hydration. Obviously, September in Texas, late September, it's not going to be near as bad. But, we were looking at June, July, August dates, and I can promise you the top guys, we would have had to change up the course a lot and shorten a lot of stuff. So hopefully we'll be adding stuff for everybody now since it's in September. Everybody kind of wanted to make sure that they didn't want it to be cold. And so we moved it back a little bit, and now look what happened. So now you're going to have to deal with the heat a little bit. But, hey, what we got going on is every week we want to try to find some content. So reach out to us, guys. Let us know, hey, next week we'll have another sponsor on. We'll have some riders on. Cody, we see Cody. Hey, Cody, you got anything to say tonight? How's everything going in your world?
Everything's going great. I was hanging out there for a bit, and then my phone took a full internet failure, probably because everyone else is Netflixing right now or something. So then, and I'm back now at least. I saw that a text from Mary that my mom was on, and I was like, oh, I better hop on real quick.
Well, it's super cool to have you on tonight, Cody, and watching things. I know Erzberg was one of your big ones that you kind of had planned on going to, right?
Yeah, no, I was definitely really excited about that event, especially since 2 years ago I tore my MCL. Last year I hurt my knee the week before. So I definitely felt like I needed redemption, and third time's a charm. So hopefully I was going to get through there, finish the race at least this year. And, I heard in the beginning of the thing, you said it was being postponed. I just saw the canceled thing just like everyone else. So we'll see. I have no idea. I don't know. I don't have insider knowledge on that.
I don't have insider knowledge. I know it said canceled, but then I read a little bit and they said they were waiting to look at dates. Like I said, I don't know. Hopefully it's not canceled, but it's when you start pushing off that much stuff from pretty much mid-March to probably August, close to August, that's a lot of racing that you got to get in somewhere. And so,
yeah, and there's not a lot of time. Like 2020 is going to run out before.
Yeah, we might have to adjust our schedule. Saturday, so we might have the Rev Limiter Saturday, and then Sunday everybody might have to drive out to Reno to hit Enduro Fest.
It's aggressive.
Yeah,
maybe if it was like a 3-hour drive, I'd be down.
Right. Well, we did look at the schedule. That was one of our hardest things was for the Rev Limiter. Obviously, we talked about this before, but we try to look at all the race schedules, and there's racing going on every weekend. But we looked at all the hard enduros, all the enduro cross. Then we looked at the SEER, which is the Southeastern Extreme Riders group. Checked out what races they had going on. Then we looked at our local series and really try to come up with something. We came up with our date the following weekend. Enduro Cross is going to be in Texas, so it should be pretty cool. We're trying to work on a couple of things that maybe we can do during the week, some ride days and stuff like that. After the Rev Limiter, that people want to stay over in Texas to head out to the Enduro Cross. So we're working on a few things like that. So, I guess pretty much, Cody, everything going overseas and even racing over here, everything's just kind of on hold. So it's just train, and hang out and ride, and hopefully you get some sleep with the baby, right?
Yeah, no, I took a nap this afternoon. I'm not going to lie. He really wasn't awake last night, but it was enough to wake me up, and I can't sleep unless it's like perfect. So then I actually went out and rode for the first time in about a week today. Just obviously kind of been staying low like everyone else, and apparently I wore myself out. I had to take a little cat nap this afternoon. I'm officially entered dad life. You start falling asleep on the couch. Used to make fun of my dad for that, and now that's me.
Now you know. It wasn't just he's turning into his dad, guys.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, man. Well, yeah, it was definitely really tough for everybody to hear the Erzberg news. Obviously, that hit pretty hard, and that kind of that kind of really made a lot of people realize, wait, this is really serious. You know, I mean, when Supercross got canceled, I kind of thought, whoa, things are getting real, because there's a lot of money behind Supercross. Our little races, a lot of times people don't, you know, that we're not on the radar compared to like Supercross and things like that. So
No.
all of those big national style events like that were getting pushed off. It definitely kind of threw a wrench in everybody's stuff, because, you know, now what's going to happen? I mean, now we're not going to be able to have Eli Tomac come out. We thought he was going to come race some rev limiter, and, you know, now we're all
Good luck.
right. You know, who's the last guy? I guess, what is it? Brownie and maybe Ron Sipes. Those are really the two guys that's really
Brownie, Types. There was a couple Supercross guys, outdoor guys that have tried enduro cross, and that was tough for them too. So
yeah.
it's not that easy. Brownie was pretty dang successful though. He beat me twice at TKO. He ruined my perfect record.
Yeah, Brownie's a beast. Yeah, that'd be awesome to have Brownie come out to the rev limiter. But, you know, I think one of the other things was, you know, Sipes. I know we were trying to get him to come out to the Red Bull Override, but, you know, he had just from all of his other events and things like that. So
I actually talked to him about that, and he asked me about it, and I was like, well, if you want to do more of them next year, this will be a good one for you to help figure out riding in some slick stuff. And it won't be super hard, but it'll be hard enough to challenge you and teach you some things. And he wanted to go, but I think he was gone racing a little bit too many weekends for the year. And
I think the wife.
sometimes you got to listen to the wife. And
yeah.
And I don't blame him for that.
No, he had been on the road, and I think he was ready for a break. So, super cool.
And 6 days takes a lot out of you. So
yeah, for sure. Well, awesome to have you on tonight, Cody. We appreciate it. You know, everybody, send us emails or DM us, instant message us. Let us know what's going on, kind of some of the things that y'all want to talk about. We'll get some other riders on. Obviously, we love having Cody on every week as well. Some other sponsors.
Oh, no, I'm gone again.
What's that? You're going to come on every week, right? I mean, your internet service sucks. Hey, did you not have any bonuses last year? Can you talk to Sherco about getting a sign-on bonus and get some better internet? Come on. He's in and out. Anyway, guys, you know, actually McGrath and Pastrana, they went to Erzberg. That's true. Thanks for those updates, James. But guys, what we want to do is we just kind of want to give some content. We want to have a place for everybody to get on here, chit chat, talk about some stuff, have some conversations, and let's talk about racing. I mean, every week we know things are changing. Obviously, with Erzberg getting canceled, that was huge. So a lot of the industry is being affected. A lot of places have actually still rocking and rolling and doing business as usual. Some of the internet sales have picked up, things like that. So things are working. This is a good time for if you need some recovery, you need to do some training, you need to do some bike maintenance, things like that. Get that stuff ready. Like I said, Mad Moose for the EEC, the AMA Sherco East Extreme Championship, May the 16th. They're still scheduled right now to host that race, as well as the WEC, the AMA Sherco West Extreme Championship is June the 6th, last dog standing. They had made a post this week that they're still scheduled currently. So we'll kind of see, May and June, they seem a long ways off, but with all of this that's been going on, it's happened really fast. So stay in tune, keep us in the loop. Mary, what you got to say today?
I should take myself off of mute.
There you go.
Not much. It's been great listening to everybody. I'm super pumped that Cody was able to connect with us. He told me he got booted again. So I think that might be the end of our chat with him. But it's always good to connect with everybody. I've been missing it. God, it's odd, but the first 3 rounds of West were canceled. So I was scheduled to head out to France, and that got canceled, and then Erzberg. So hopefully they will get things back on for, I believe Poland is their first scheduled race now at the end of June. But ISDE's out, which is, yeah, I mean, it's a huge disappointment. This is, I heard, and I didn't verify this, but I heard from Mark Correa, who's like a really good source. It's been to 38, I believe, ISDEs, and my 42, it's up there. He told me they've only canceled it twice in the history. This would have been the 98th annual ISDE, and they've only canceled it twice, both times for world wars.
Wow.
So having it be canceled is huge. It's, I mean, from anybody that was, all the people, all the riders, there are a massive amount of club riders who spend just a tremendous amount of time and effort training for this.
Right.
You were talking about Ryan Wells earlier with AZ Dirt Bike Training. He had qualified already. For those of you who don't know, there's a huge lengthy process where people have to go out, riders have to go out to qualifiers for the USA teams. Anybody that you know, earns the right, really truly earns the right. So there are a lot of people that were really looking forward to this, that are really disappointed. This was Italy. Italy, obviously the location, ironically, just not going to work out. A little bit earlier this year as well, in comparison to the last 2 years that I've gone. So it's been rough, a lot of disappointment out there. As you guys know, I'm freelance, so I'm at a complete stop. So all my engines have stalled out. So I have been doing a lot of little creative things and out riding my dirt bike myself as well. All the things that I've told myself that I don't have time for, I have time for. So the dirt bike's got a new top end. There are little trickety things that I've been doing to it. As you can see, I've got Ready to Ride Rentals 6 days edition right behind me. Bo, I just put your plastics on today. So I don't know how close I am if you can see it. I don't think I can zoom in on it, but I think it looks pretty good. You know, they look nice. We don't have any of the extra stuff on it yet. None of the pipes and the guards and all of his sponsor stuff that he puts on. But yeah, been able to ride that thing, which has been great. Everybody that's been staying in touch with me, thank you so much. I love you guys. It's so rad to see, you know, people reach out like everywhere. I get so many messages all the time. People that, you know, just drop me a line, see how you're doing, that sort of thing. I know I'm not the only one. I know everybody else out there is getting it too. So this is just the community. This is why we do what we do, because we truly love the community. And I just can't wait to get back to racing. You know, it's odd. You don't realize how much of our lives are revolved around the races until they're just poof, they're gone. And then they start dropping like boom, 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 boom. So luckily for me, the airlines have been super awesome. Otherwise, I would totally be screwed. I've purchased a lot of my plane tickets already. Yeah, I mean, other than just like the daily inconveniences that like you feel kind of foolish complaining about, because we have people that are truly serving right now. I have friends and family that are, you know, literally that front lines is literally what they're doing, be it grocery tellers to literally nurses and doctors. There's a lot of people that are out there and can't seclude themselves and can't, you know, keep themselves safe. They just have to be in it. So that is what shuts me up. When I start complaining about where I'm at, then I stop and remember those people and how much I appreciate them. So there's a little drop for them. Shout out to everybody once again, that is all of our first responders, everybody that's out there on the lines. I talked to a garbage delivery guy, like, hello, garbage people still have to work, y'all. So like, shout out to people like that, our unsung heroes, you know what I mean? Veterinarian people, like people that still have to be.
Yeah, I mean, the grocery stores,
yeah.
the stockers at the grocery stores, you know, the people that work at
all
the gas
sorts. Yeah.
It's amazing of how many essential people we really need to continue our day-to-day life when we're supposed to be quarantined. So huge. I mean, there's a lot of people that's been furloughed, you know, are in bad situations, you know, obviously not being able to work, freelance photographers, things like that. And that's their livelihood, and that's what they rely on, you know, and so it's tough. So, you know, so if you're still working, still getting your paychecks, and you race the rev limiter, you race any of those races, go check out MJ's photos. Go buy your photos so you don't screenshot them and do all of that kind of stuff. They work really hard.
You can shoot me a message. I have time right now to actually comb through thousands of photos and find you. So I actually don't mind. Like, send me a message. I saw you at, you know, Rev Limiter last year. Can you find a photo of me? And I'm happy to shoot you just you know, whatever I can find. And yeah, I mean, if you want to get them, that's awesome. My my images are super cheap. Downloads are like $10 online. So and if not, it just gives me something to do. So I super appreciate it still.
Cool. For sure. You know, Mary does a great job for us. She always does a great job she is one of those true heroes for the off-road world. She basically just, you know, she exudes our community, and that's what we really love about it, is the fact that she's you know, one of our biggest ambassadors for off-road racing. And so thank you for that, Mary. We appreciate everything that you do. We can't wait for you to be at all the other races. So that's exciting. Well, with that, guys, you know, it's almost an hour now. So, okay, Mary, what's your link? Where do they find all of your information?
Any of my social media channels have them linked in the bio, but just Google MJ's Moto Photos. MJS Moto Photos, all one word. MJ's Moto Photos. That's me.
Yep. So
I'm on the Rev Limiter site. I'm on a number of sites, but yeah, Google MJ's Moto Photos.
We tag her in a lot of stuff all the time because a lot of our content comes from her. You know, so check her out. MJS Photos. Moto Photos. She's on Instagram and I don't know book.
Yeah, I'm on the book. I just don't I don't actively go on there, but I get messages and stuff, and I'll respond to you. I'm not like a Facebook surfer. I'm sorry. We broke up.
We got you. So yeah, so go check out her photos. Go buy some photos of yourself. If you don't, then she's going to know, and she's going to find those pictures of you like James Hill crashing, and then we'll post those up of you. So a little blackmail.
Oh, I know that photo. That's a good crash photo. That's a sequence photo. Yeah.
I promise you, he has plenty of those. So
a lot of those crash photos, disclaimer, not to take away from me or anything, but a lot of those crash photos, if I caught you, I'll usually just shuffle them to you in a low res for free. I know. I'm a total sucker. I'm like you said, I'm an ambassador for the sport. I love to see people out there having a good time. And I love to tell the story. I just think it's such a blessing that I have my camera in front of my face half the time. Kind of muffles my sound a little bit, you know. I know. It's funny.
Yeah, she's always out there hollering for everybody. So But yeah, so, well, awesome, Mary. We appreciate your time tonight. Bo, we appreciate your time tonight. Thank y'all so much for joining. And like I said, it's super awesome. Hit us up. Let us know what's going on. We'll try to come out with a little bit of something different each week, just to kind of chit chat and talk about things. Sponsors. I know Kenda's got a couple of new tires out, so we'll be talking about those pretty soon. Brian or Jason from Kenda's going to be coming on. We're going to visit about the newest. We'll get Brian over from Sherco. They'll be jumping on some of their riders. So we're constantly just looking for content. Everybody's kind of bored, and we're trying to save you from having to watch Tiger King or any of those other random shows that everybody's talking about. So plug into the off-road world, see what's going on, and stay in touch with us. And we'll see y'all next week. Thanks for joining. Got too many things to turn off here.